Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And last night's Raw was certainly a show. I'm going to tell you all the newsworthy stuff from that, including a big return and a SmackDown wrestler swapping brands before the draft. That never happens. On top of that, I'm going to tell you why Retribution were absent from Clash of Champions last night's Raw and why they'll be missing for a couple of weeks going forward.
Plus, yet again, WWE leave Raw planning to the very last minute, and it looks like RVD and Katie Forbes are done with Impact Wrestling for now. This is the news.
Right, let's do some quick-fire Raw news to kick things off, because there was a bunch of newsworthy bits and pieces here and there. The most notable, I think, is the return of Robert Roode for the first time since March. He had been sitting out since the onset of the Global Bastard. Canadian dude, obviously, lives in Canada, can't travel during all of this, but he's back now. He wrestled Drew McIntyre in the main event of Raw. It was for the WWE Championship. He lost, of course. He wasn't going to beat Drew McIntyre and become WWE Champion. It's Bobby Roode on Raw. He's not been there for 6 months. What's going on? But he was reintroduced by Dolph Ziggler as well, which suggests that their tag team is going to be resumed. Roode's first match since the 8th of March at the Elimination Chamber 2020 pay-per-view. So follows on from last week's report stating that he would be back imminently. Credit WrestleVotes for that one. Nice to have him back. Let's see what he does. Other stuff that happened on Raw. Dana Brooke is now part of the Raw roster. She was introduced as part of a tag team with Mandy Rose. She has made the switch. She's going to be on Raw full-time, presumably. They beat Lana and Natalya in something like 3 minutes. Lana, unsurprisingly, was the person who was pinned because, you know, your husband's in AEW now, so screw you. We got a little interview with Mandy and Dana Brooke later in the evening where they said we're going to come after the tag team titles once the Riot Squad have had their shot. The Riot Squad are still waiting for their shot because it was pulled from Clash of Champions due to the Bastard. Nobody has contracted the Bastard, just come into contact with people who have. And finally, Alistair Black has a new entrance theme and it has not gone down well online, as you can imagine. Root of All Evil, the CFO's produced track, was one of the most popular tracks in WWE, I think. A lot of people really loved that. Produced in conjunction with the New York hardcore band Incendiary, their frontman Brendan doing the vocals. Last night, it was replaced by a louder, more brisk, not as good entrance theme, but it's a bit faster, and you know his new ring entrance, he's ditched most of the theatrics. He hasn't got the coffin and the creaking and all that stuff anymore. He just kind of stomps down very angry now. But you know, this hasn't gone down particularly well online. A lot of people very upset that one of their favourite entrance scenes is gone, and it comes on the back of the Keith Lee change as well. This is all apparently due to CFOs, WWE trying to get people who have their themes to not use them anymore, owing to what was described as a terrible deal with regards to royalties due to a publishing company. So, you know, a lot of little nuggets of information from Raw there. Adam Wilborn, what do you think of it?
Where to start? I mean, change Roman Reigns' theme, now he's heel. What's that? Give Keith Lee a new theme? No, change Roman Reigns' theme, now he's heel. You got it, Alistair Black, new theme. One that we can actually play for you now. Hang on 1 second. Alistair Black. That is the new theme. It's awful. Why change it? And yeah, they changed is obviously not as a result of this new theme, but he has everything that made his entrance unique. Yeah, get rid of all that bollocks as well, and just give him a black contact lens.
Yeah.
Crap. I was very happy about Bobby Roode returning to Monday Night Raw. I mean, it was a fun little return, I suppose.
Yeah, it was all right.
Win the WWE Championship. I just wanted to get a Terrence and Phillip reference in there, if I can. Hey, buddy. And also, why is Dana Brooke tagging with Mandy Rose?
Blonde.
I thought Mandy Rose was going to break out on her own, but okay.
They're
she's
blonde.
Now on Monday Night
WWE's
Raw.
problematic. They're blonde. There we go.
It's almost like you shouldn't have broken up one of the best female tag teams in history.
Here he goes.
Because now you're just having to shove people together. But Raw's crap. I mean, what do you expect? And what part of the reasoning behind why Raw is so shambolic is they leave planning for it to the very last second. Yet again, it happened on last night's show. WrestleVotes confirming talent weren't told until less than 3 hours before bell time what on earth was going on. As I said, though, not exactly a new story, this. We seem to talk about it every single week, which is really frustrating coming off the back of a really quite enjoyable Clash of Champions pay-per-view. Granted, most of the fun on Clash of Champions came from the blue half, SmackDown, which is actually really good. But as you pointed out before we started recording, the same guys make Raw and SmackDown. They just can't work out what to do. Surely you look at what's worked on SmackDown. All right, one bit of this doesn't really count as long-term storytelling, but still, long-term storytelling with Sami Zayn in the Intercontinental Championship, Sasha Banks and Bayley, and oh look, Roman Reigns, and informed storytelling that you can relate to with family members, the Usos. Instead, what have we got on Monday Night Raw? Some bollocks with Mysterio's family. It's not Mysterio's fault or Mysterio's family. It's just the writing. It's dreadful. It's boring. I don't care. And more Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, it seems. This time, Randy Orton's... Maybe they're going to have a match in the dark. Like, dark matches, except this one is in the pitch dark, and they have to put night vision goggles on the cameras.
Yeah, it's crap. This WrestleVotes report here saying that people weren't told what they were doing until just like 3 hours before the show, or less than 3 hours. No wonder the damn thing stinks.
I feel guilty sometimes when we do the Raw preview podcast, because I was like, I'm really sorry, with the UK time difference being as it is, we haven't really got... Like yesterday, we were just, effectively, me and Sidgwick were talking about sort of what's going to happen post-Clash of Champions. But it's a good job I didn't wait till the, announcement of what was going down on tonight's show, because it would have been about, 2 a.m. UK time. So it would have been bloody pointless.
Yeah, exactly, man. Just ran out of words, really, for WWE Raw. Please do better. One way it was better is that there was no Retribution last night, but it's for bad reasons, so I don't know why I framed it like that. So this broke yesterday afternoon. It broke on Sunday. Dave Meltzer talking on the Sunday Night's Main Event podcast, basically stating that the reason Retribution weren't at Clash of Champions was because they weren't medically cleared to compete. Now, Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet came through with a follow-up on this, tweeting the following. Regarding Retribution not being cleared to compete at the moment, sources tell me all 5 members have tested negative. However, the group's members each have to quarantine themselves for 2 weeks because they came into proximity with someone who had tested positive. Now, assuming that their quarantine began sometime between last week's episode of Raw and Clash of Champions, they should be able to return for the 12th of October episode of Raw. This was cited in the Fightful Select report last week, talking about the, I'm burning sources here, the PW Insider report, talking about how people feared, potentially the crossover of the NXT breakout coming to the main roster via the Retribution members that have been at the Performance Center and mingling on the main roster, because there's 700 of them. No word that any of that is linked, of course, but there's been contact from Retribution members and other people who are suffering, and Retribution are gone for 2 weeks. I mean, I'm not disappointed about Retribution not being on TV for a couple of weeks, but obviously, your concern for individuals supersedes all that, and hope whoever they came into contact with is not too seriously afflicted.
It's weird, I've just Googled it. I've just Googled, do locusts spread diseases? And it says there's no evidence that locusts carry diseases that could harm humans. So, no, I'm joking, of course. Safety first, precautions for this whole thing. But let's be honest, the show is better without Retribution and without Raw Underground last night. So maybe just get rid of both of those things, because they're awful. Just a thought. But speaking about things that are gone for now, at least. Oof, rough segue that. Rob Van Dam, Katie Forbes are reportedly done with Impact Wrestling for now. This is according to PW Insider. Of course, Van Dam recently concluding a feud with Sami Callihan. Well, I say recently concluding it. He beat Callihan to give Forbes 5 minutes alone with Callihan, who then pile-drived Katie Forbes. So maybe not the end of that feud, if I'm perfectly honest, but still, it looks like they're done for now. Van Dam's been doing a lot of short-term deals. No real reasoning as to why they are, cutting ties, and they are clearly quite open to returning there. But for now, that's the last you'll see of RVD and Katie Forbes on Impact Wrestling, which We've been starting doing ups and downs on the channel, of course. I think we should do more stuff. I think Impact Wrestling has been great recently, Andy.
Yeah, it has. It's been something of a resurgent year for the promotion in terms of buzz and so forth. It's very difficult for them because the network they're on, Access TV, they're only getting something like, I believe their July average was somewhere between 150 and 170,000 viewers a week. So they're not pulling in massive audiences on this network or whatever. But in terms of and I don't have any metrics to measure this by, you could probably point to social media numbers and so forth, but it feels like a lot more people are talking about Impact Wrestling in 2020 at the very least. The programming warrants it. It is something of a variety show. There's lots of different elements there. You got the Wrestle House stuff, which is kind of silly and soapy, so if you're into that stuff, it's there. There's a lot of really good wrestling all over the card as well. Lots of talented performers, a bunch of people who came out of WWE, of course. Eric Young, obviously, an Impact original, TNA Originals, the world champion once more. Good Brothers have been doing some good stuff. The X division's always fun. Ace Austin's one of my favorite up-and-coming guys in all of wrestling. The women's division, the tag division, both outstanding. A lot of reasons to watch Impact in 2020. So, Rob Van Dam making his next move. Lord knows where he'll end up, but I don't think Rob Van Dam cares either way, man. He seems like the most easygoing guy of all time. He's going to have fun regardless.
Exactly, he's living the best life. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from David S. Poe, who says, please know that I'm asking this as I pinch the bridge of my nose between my fingers, but with all the referee issues we've been seeing lately, are we about to discover that Retribution has refs on the payroll? Sorry, has Retribution got refs on the payroll?
I don't think we are, no. I earnestly think that this is just a series of mess-ups. We had the Asuka Mickey James thing. We had the thing at the pay-per-view with, very descriptive, the thing with the thing and the thing, with the Andrade Angel Garza match after the injury to Garza, of course. I don't think that these are related to Retribution. However, I have also no idea what Brad Maddox is up to these days. And hey, if you need a crooked referee angle, there's your guy. Maybe, I don't know, is he cancelled or anything? I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I've just put over someone who's been cancelled. Has he been cancelled? What am I talking about?
I've no idea. What we need is Drake Wirtz to become a referee as part of Retribution, because you can just call him Mahogany. So, he loves a tan job, doesn't he? Right, next question today comes from Nick T, who says, is Adam Pearce the new WWE GM? We've been speculating on this for a while with Postman Pearce.
Yeah, Postman Pearce. I think he's the GM in all but title. Yeah, I mean he's kind of, it's more of like a meeker portrayal. It's not as like a gutsy, authoritative portrayal of an authority figure character, but he's making the decisions. He has a similar level of power. I think he's that, just without the unfortunate connotations that the GM tag comes with. But make no mistake, the authority figure is alive and well in the year of our Lord 2020 after a lengthy absence.
Good for him. I like Adam Pearce. I don't know why. Something about him.
Scrap
anyway,
daddy.
Final question today comes from Darren4785, who of course very briefly won the WhatCulture world title on our live stream on Sunday night. Darren writes, good morning, gents. Seeing as I'm the only non-WhatCulture member of staff to hold the WhatCulture title, what non-wrestler would you like to see as a one-off world champion? How about Jason Statham, says Darren.
Oh, man.
Chesterfield legend Jason Statham, born there.
Also
So
a bald legend, so there you go. So I'm not really into the celebrity thing as much as a lot of people. I love my boy, our friend of the channel, David Arquette, of course.
Yes.
Just a legendary guy, the Magic Man, long live. Watch his documentary, You Cannot Kill David Arquette,
so
if you
good.
can. It is a riot from start to finish. But, for the most part, if companies are ever going to do this again, I would prefer they kept it believable. And I think the only way to do it believably is with combat sports athletes, because I could believe that, for example, my pick, Anthony Joshua, could come in and knock someone out with one punch, because he could, and win the belt. So if you're going to do it with Anthony Joshua. I think, he's obviously like a renowned boxer and all this stuff, but he also seems like a really good dude as well. So get him involved. Why not?
Yeah, I'm going to stick in the same vein as you for this one. I'm going to stick with combat sport athletes and a guy who had a sensational weekend. He is jaw-dropping to watch him in the MMA arena. If you haven't seen this, go and check him out. Israel Adesanya. He made Paulo Costa look like an amateur over the weekend, and he is the personality of a wrestler in an MMA fighter. Just go and watch. Go and Google Israel Adesanya entrance when he fought Robert Whittaker in Australia. He's fighting for a world title against a murderer on that show. Just check out how his entrance looks. Just all I'm saying. I'll move on to today's and finally, and give a shout out to Sports Center and Murad F15 on Instagram, who you need to go and check out. He is Faris Murad on TikTok. This video has been doing the rounds absolutely everywhere. Basically, online classes are a thing now, of course, because the ongoing global bastard, and he has chosen to make his entrance every single day with a different wrestler's theme. I'm a huge fan of this. Everyone should be doing this, and you just go and look at his classes' reactions, because they're just like, here we go. Well, it's a big show. It's wonderful stuff. Go and check it out. The video of which is on our Twitter page right now. Just go and check out WhatCulture Wrestling's likes, and you'll be able to check out the link to the Sports Center video, which is stolen off his TikTok. It's all very complicated and technology-wise, but it is a fantastic thing to do. So good work. What's his name? I've completely got Faris Murad, or Murad Faris. I don't know. I don't know how these things work on TikTok, if I'm perfectly honest, but go and check that out anyway. And let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts, including, of course, myself and the Daddy Boys reviewing Monday Night Raw. Oh, goody, a little bit later on today. Continue the conversation on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE, and follow both of us. Andy, where can people get you?
You can find me at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Happy Birthday to Jiri.
Oh, I like Tajiri. Yeah.
Very nice.
Good shout. Happy birthday, Tajiri. Follow me at Adam Wilwell. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.